Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Ali, and as Sarah said, I'm a former student. And it might sound so far away, but I graduated 2009 from the school. I wanna tell you a little bit about my experiences, the path I had to go through to get the point where I am, and also the entrepreneurship with it, which is my job today. Everything I do is around entrepreneurship. I know this is a lecture. You might take it this way, but I'm not a lecturer. So please, if you have a question at any point, anytime you want to discuss about something, ask something, just go ahead. Raise your hand so I can see you. Just like that. Ole hyvä.
Voisitko myös suomeksi sitten sanoa heille, jotka ei englantia ymmärrä? Onko ääni yhdessä?
Okei. Kuinka moni ei ymmärrä englantia? Raise your hand, please. Okay. I will take a small steps in Finnish if it's okay, but it won't be big. Okay. We'll take it at the end. I'll take the basic information I promised. Minä olen siis Ali Giray, olen yrittäjä ja kerron hieman tuosta itsestäni ja yrittäjyydestä. Olen vanha opiskelija täältä koululta ja olen vuoden pakolainen tälle vuodelle valtakunnallisesti. Kiitos. Now, it's hard to think where to start. I have so much to tell, and now that when I have to tell, I don't find much. Let's go back to me coming to this country. I moved to Finland in 1993. We came. My father had come to this country as an asylum seeker, and 3 years after him, we got here with this family union thing, and there's 6 of us. 1 girl and 5 boys. We moved to Salo, which is South Finland, and actually I might as well just take the picture. Voila, here's my family. This is actually 1993, the picture. We all came here, and I am the one on your left corner, the shy one. And as you can see, I had a lot of beautiful hair back then. 5 boys and 1 girl, and totally different culture and totally different culture, country and culture. And we came from Turkey. You see the T letter from Tigris, and actually where the T ends on the border, that's where I came from. Like I'm a Kurdish person, Kurdi, from Turkish border. And I would love to explain all the things about here, but I think I won't. I would guess that that's not very interesting right now, what's happening. There is war though, and you all probably know about the war going on in Syria, Iraq, and that thing, and Kurdish are playing main role in that situation. But let's not go there. So, as you can see, I was quite young when I came here. I was about 11 years old when I came to this country, and with no expectation. And I got to school, and please forgive me, I didn't have time to make a great PowerPoint for you. I did it this morning on my way here, so I'm an entrepreneur and I didn't have time, I'm sorry. That was the first picture on the left corner is from me with my friends at the school. As you can see, maybe from the picture too, we were more like having fun instead of studying. And I can honestly tell you that I used to be a person who were kind of dragging, hold on to the school, but dragging after it, not in the school. It was kind of, school wanted to get rid of me, and I didn't let go. My numbers, they were like every now and then after the exams, I had to go to teachers and tell them that, please, can you do something? Let me pass, please. I'm nice. And I don't know, did it ever work? But for some reason, I did finish the school. In 2009, it took me about 6-7 years. And 6 months of that was kind of illegal. I was not supposed to be at school, but I had to figure something out. What I'm trying to say is that I wasn't the brightest student at the school, but I came brighter all the time. And all this information that I got from these teachers, they kind of got back to me after the school. When I was at the school, it didn't really, I was like, oh, they are so old. But in the other hand, when I stepped in the real life, everything they taught me came back at the moment I needed it. That was a good thing. But I am from a family that we had to work all the time. My father had to work. My father, you saw the place we came from. There was no city. It was like a small village in Turkish border. My father and mother, they don't have any education. They couldn't even write their name until they got to this country. So you might think that it was kind of difficult to live in this place without being able to read or write, without even, or about the language. So my father had to do something, so he started a business without any help, legal help. He got help from his friends to start some sort of pizza place, and he made terrible pizzas. But he did try, and maybe that's something that got into me too, because I saw him trying so hard without getting further. I wanted to help him, and actually in Mikkeli, we moved to Mikkeli after a year in Finland. That was the only pizza place in the city, and we were, with my brother, the only two black-haired guys in the city that you could see in 1994. That's what I remember. There might have been somebody somewhere, but I never saw them. And we had all this racism going on. That was like every weekend our window was down. Every weekend we had to fight. Actually, every day I had people waiting for me outside the school, people like skinheads, between 10 to 50 guys waiting every single day. Okay, why? I wasn't that the fighter guy. I wasn't that strong, but our school was kind of perfect for that case. It was 2 kilometers out of the city, and there was only one road to that place. And then in our school there was this class called the 10th class, and in that class there was only older guys with other problems, and they were not good students, but they were trying to get back to the life. Probably they had personal difficulties, so they were the toughest guys at the city. And everybody from all the schools, anytime they got off the school, they went to this school, and because it was kind of out of the city, nobody even realized or nobody saw what's going on. So it was, you wanted to be cool, you had to be a skinhead or a racist. And me and my brother, we were at that school, so you could also show your skinheadness to other people. Like we were kind of a test for those guys who wanted to become tough. So I had to go through them every day, and sometimes, dodging, and sometimes fighting, and sometimes. But I I never got anything like too hard. Okay, they did destroy our restaurant. They did do a lot of bad things. And the worst thing that I remember was that sometimes I got off the school like 12 o'clock maybe, or 1 o'clock, and there were people already waiting. And I was a kid. Sometimes I was afraid to go along, and not even one teacher wanted to look outside the window, or they did see what's happening, but they just shut the curtains down. So that was the worst thing that could happen. And I was waiting in the school until 4 o'clock. I got out 12, but I was waiting there until 4, that maybe they will go away. They just got more. And the guy who, working in that building came out at 4 and said, now you have to get out. And I had to go through that system anyway. That was kind of a negative thing. But what I remember from those days is what my father told me, that they are local people. This is their culture, and they have a right to be dumb. So let them be dumb. You don't hate them. And it is right. Maybe 90% of those guys, they didn't choose to be skinheads or racist. They just they wanted to be in. And this is the first real touch to the local Finnish rightness is what I got. But it wasn't that bad, and because of my father, I've been always thankful. And we tried our business. It didn't work. It was getting too hard, and we moved away from the Mikkeli. We went to another city, south, where there was no racist anymore. There was this called gypsies. And they looked more like me. So I started to more look like a gypsy. Not quite soon after moving. And I realized a couple of months after that the place we moved was considered to be the most dangerous place in Finland. You don't hear me? How about now? Okay, sorry. Anyway, our restaurant on the right corner, because my father had to, making pizza was the only way he could get along in this country, make some sort of income, because nobody would hire him. Because of the lack of Finnish language, the lack of any education, the lack of whatever you can call. He's a person who can make, but nobody has taught him anything. So he tried, and he many times this one off again. Maybe I'll just put it down. Can you hear me like this? Okay, I'll leave it because it seems like it doesn't work. So he starts the restaurant, and I have to help him just to make sure that we don't fall here. I learned to make pizza when I was 14, and I still am the best pizza maker in this country. I had to study, but I also had to work at the same time. And the work was kind of my decision, because I needed some sort of help or happiness with my family, and of course income to be able to go and study. So I can say that I did work maybe even five times more than the local students, my friends, and I got like 5 times lower numbers than them. But it's not a bad thing again, because I was able to finish it, and that's maybe the best thing that I could get is I had to work a lot, and I never achieved what the others could achieve easily. And when I achieved it, after all these difficulties, I was thankful. I was really happy. And this happiness has given me get where I am now. There's another picture from me. If you can see me, I'm hiding in the woods. Army. I did. That was my first year in this school. I got into school and then I went on. I finished it and I also got a medallion, small one, but I got it. Out of 1,000 soldiers, there was only 4 or 5 of us who got this called Blue Rose. You can imagine how happy I was to show those racist fellow fighters that I got it in your army and you didn't. That was so nice. But that's a picture from me. And there's another picture from me. I am on your right, the second in the middle. There was a school trip to where did we go? Brussels. Yes, a school trip to Brussels. And I loved everything about this school, and then being able to. We went to NATO. Imagine I'm a Kurdish person, and NATO is like the second best country, the richest, the biggest country of supporting NATO is Turkey, and they consider me as a terrorist, and I was in the headquarters of NATO. So it was kind of nice to, please forgive me, to fuck with the guy out there, to tell him that, hey, I'm a Kurdish, I'm not a terrorist, but you guys consider me like this. And we talked like 2 hours with this guy, and he never even mentioned once a Kurdish person. And, he was a political guy. Go further. Okay, I did have a lot of things in this school, and I was able to finish it in 2009. I was an entrepreneur before I finished the school. Entrepreneur in a way, I bought my father's pizzeria, restaurant. I bought it from him because I knew more about the business than he did. And because of the language skills, he was more like a burden to the business. So I bought the business and I fired him so I can make it better. And actually, in 1 year, I was able to open 2 more shops with that place. And then I had this moment for some reason. Everything was great. I mean, my businesses it was growing. I was making quite nice money too. And I was on the papers at the school, but I was not much around the school. So one day I just realized that this is not what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I'm not going to make pizza for the rest of my life. And I have chance for better because of what this country, what this culture gives me the chances. I have free education and I have all the possibilities in the world. So why would I waste all this by making pizza, which my father can also make? And well, he gets his living, even though he makes bad pizzas. He makes a living. So I gave up everything and I came to school. And after 5 years of the school, with the low numbers, I graduated 2009 summer. I can't remember. And the month after that, I started again a pizzeria. And in Joensuu, I started my own pizza master. But the difference between this pizza and the other pizza is that I created all of that one based on my information experiences from making pizza, but also what this school gave me, the business-wide information. I was able to achieve my 2 years goal in 6 months. I mean, the turnover. And when I started this business, of course, I applied for this startup grant, what they have in this country, that you want to start a new business, you get some sort of help, a couple of hundred every month for 6 months. And if it's not, the company hasn't reached some level, you can apply for another 6 months. So I applied for that, and they say, starting pizza, and it's a bad idea. it's not going to work. And 2009, that was one of the worst times in economy around this country. Everything was going down. So they say, no, 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 no. And I said, what the heck? I started and I showed them all wrong. This is the picture with me and my employees. It worked fine. I was happy with it. I opened 2 more shops. So there is still actually working 3 Pizza Master in Joensuu region. But then people start to come to me. Immigrants, foreigners, they start to come and tell me all these questions that they have heard my name from some place, something. Can you help us? We have got this paper from Kela, from social office, you know, Finnish-speaking officers requiring some sort of document or answer for something. And they came to me and then asked for help. And it was kind of 5 minutes for me. I could, you know, say or write this report for them based on what they tell me. And the problem would go away for them, which would mean life sometimes for them. Because this one piece of paper might have stopped their living in a way. So my 5 minutes was their life. And I knew the feeling because my family had been going through this way of sleepless nights for a long time. So I couldn't say no. I accepted, okay, I went, help with this person and help the other person and help the other person. And suddenly I realized that I had to hire a guy to make pizza in my pizzeria so I can go and help other people for free. That was 2010, sorry. About less than a year after I started my own pizza place. And when I went every time with different immigrant to these officers and help doing their problems, solving their problems, the Finnish officers started telling me that you can't keep coming this every time with somebody else's paper and doing their job. It's not allowed. We have this thing called confidentiality in this country, and these are all confidential informations that you are getting, and it's not allowed. And the person who owns this all information is like next to me. And I was like, you tell him what you're telling me. He asked me to be here, and you're not paying for me. And then I realized that they do pay for interpreters all the time. I was doing it for free. And they say, you can't come, and we have interpreters to do this job. We want to pay for somebody to do this. So, okay, what would you like to pay me? They said, no. You have to have a company. You have to work for somebody. Then I made some research and I started my own company. I started just put some papers. It was kind of easy to start a company, but I started it and I went there next day as a person working for this interpreter services providing company of Joensuun Tulkkikeskus. And then I said, now you get to pay me. And she had no reason to say no. She had to pay. And because the customer wanted me. Nowadays, today we have, my company provides interpretation and translation services in 65 languages with more than 300 interpreters and translators with all level. As you can imagine, I did give up making pizza quite soon after that. And I'm working full-time in this interpretation company. What is good with that is that with going people to the different places, different government officers, I got a lot of information. And this information is what makes people know a lot of things. And I had to do it as a work, so I got a lot of experience and information for free by helping people. Only helping people gave me more information. And this information has made me today a serial interpreter and entrepreneur. And I also am a vice president of Joensuu Entrepreneurs. It's a entrepreneurship society. And actually I started anew because of Joensuu locating so far away from the rest of the world. I mean, the Finland is considered to be Helsinki, but we live in northern, like about 450, 500 kilometers northern than Helsinki. I had difficulties to find interpreters in that area. Everybody who got the language information, they moved to south. Everybody, all the immigrants, they have this one direction, they go to south, Helsinki, Helsinki. It is understandable because there is one place where they might not be so different than the others. In Joensuu, you might be still shown around because when you walk and you are a little bit different colored, you'll be seen. So I was having these difficulties, how to find interpreters for 1 hour interpretation. Because everybody went out, I started to think about the problem, and then I solved and I created, I of course got a lot of help, but I created a video interpretation platform. And now I have had some difficulties with that too. We kept working, and now we are coming in slush, and we are going to bring up our own new system. What is that? Application, thank you. Application for Android right now, and all the other platforms too, that we can provide interpretation right away. You just have to push the language and when you want it. And then the rest will be done right away, and we will save a lot of money, tax money, not my money. I will make probably, hopefully, money. But the thing is that we will no longer need any interpretation centers or services, only the customer and the interpreter. And they will do the job, and everything will be automated. And this is what we are building because of the distances, because it's much more expensive to get the same service what immigrants get in Helsinki. It would like 10, 20 times more expensive to get sometimes to get it in Joensuu. So based on that idea, we created this UPRET. So you can be interpreter, you can interpretate based idea. As I mentioned, there is still this Pizza Master thing running, and I have I don't work in pizzerias anymore, but I have the brand of Pizza Master. I didn't give up on that one. There are entrepreneurs that are running as franchisees. They don't pay me anything though, but I give them a consultation. They are immigrants. They have low Finnish language or lack of a lot of information too. But I provide them language-wide information. If they get the inspection and they need to make something or make something better or create, become a good restaurant, they have to be able to show some things, and without the language, it's kind of difficult. So those 3 places, and plus about 10 other immigrant restaurants or entrepreneurs around the North Karelia, North Joensuu region. Sorry. They call me, and I teach them how to become an entrepreneur in this country in a right way without the language. I mean, they have this language, what they need. In pizzeria, you would need you want to take your pizza and you want anchovies in it, you want ham, and that's it. They can get along with that language, but they cannot get along with what inspection wants, inspectors. So I provide that help with them. They become good restaurants. They don't stress on what is entrepreneurship in this country. They just concentrate on that food, what they are making. And I have realized one thing, that about these 10 families or these businesses that I provide this language service, they all got healthier, and almost all of them got new kids in the family. And that was kind of new information because I kind of never saw my father when I was at that age because he was stressing with all the paper, not the customer, the paperwork. So now that those guys don't have this paperwork thing, they don't stress about it. They know whenever something comes, they don't understand it. Even though those people who call them that, do you want to buy this and that? Marketing. They don't even listen. They just give my number. That call to this guy, he knows. And I get like 10 calls every day. Sometimes I don't know where it comes from. My first question is that, which company did you try to sell this, whatever you're selling? And after that, what helped them that they never stress on the paper. They just do the good job of whatever they know. And then they started to take more time for themselves, become a normal person, and they spend more time at home. And suddenly I started to see kids in these families. And that was kind of a new thing. So what I'm trying to say is that basic things can help a lot of people to get along in this country, to get along in entrepreneurship, it's just information. And the sad thing about this is that all this information is available and it's for free for all of those guys. You just have to be able to search, and it's kind of hard, even for Finns, to start in business. But I have tried to solve this problem. Okay, I mentioned about the interpretation services, 65 languages. UPRET is this new system platform that we are building. If you wanted to check out, you will see me in Slush. Entrepreneurs of Joensuu, I'm the vice president in there. And what I have done in there with these entrepreneurs is trying to show the Finnish society that immigration and immigrants can be a good source of employment too. But pushing them away, not seeing them, doesn't mean that they are not there. So thankfully they start to listen, and we are giving the immigrant entrepreneur of the year in Joensuu. And that's the first one in all Finland. And I hope that they will start to copy this idea to other cities, because only in Helsinki there is more than 40% of all new companies is started by immigrants. And that's kind of a big number to not see. And they make a lot of jobs, basic jobs that anybody can do. And yes, I have 4 small children, so I have 3 companies, and I have this consultation and information thing going on all the time, and I have 4 kids too, so I never have to be stressed or have a problem with what to do next. I always have something to do. So far, any questions? Oh, yes. Yes, UPRET is, as I said, thank you, for interpretation problem because of the distances. It's the outcome of about 5-year developing of long distances interpretation, because people don't want to pay thousands of euros to bring an interpreter from Helsinki to Joensuu for 1 hour. It's just not right. And we're paying for, taxpayers are paying for that. So I started with this video interpretation thing that well, everybody knows about FaceTime or Skype or anything. This works at the same way, but our own system, it has to have this confidentiality law thing to accept, and those FaceTimes were not allowed. American ideas were not allowed for some reason. We made this video interpretation, and it didn't work for the customers. They had difficulties based on the same problem, confidentiality. We cannot download any apps to our phone because it's not ours, and we have this and that. And it didn't work. It is working. The video interpretation we are using with the customers who can, but not all of them. So the next step was UPRET, and UPRET is basically Uber for interpretation. So you guys probably know what Uber is, right? Anybody who doesn't know? Okay, I hope. Well, the idea is that there is a customer who needs an interpreter, and then there is an interpreter around, I don't know, around the world. And this platform is that you download the app, you put your own information there. It's confidential, of course. And then you select the language, and the system sends, based on what kind of interpretation you want, it sends to available interpreters around the country, and in less than a minute, they were supposed to call you. And you will get your problem solved. The normal interpretation system goes like, you have to book a time and call for an interpreter and call for maybe a doctor and some other time, and you have to make this scheduling thing many weeks ahead so that you can get to ask the right question for the person who doesn't speak Finnish. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and you have to plan for a long time. What I did is that not in every cases, we don't have time to plan everything, and it's only one or two questions. Like a doctor will ask that, do you have any allergies? This is the reason why long distances interpretation came to me, because I had this one call one day that there was a doctor calling, they had an accident, and one of the injured person was an immigrant. And he was yelling, screaming behind the line. And the doctor couldn't, he had this injection, or whatever that is, the medicine, and he couldn't give it because he didn't know about the allergies. So he was waiting, and he was calling, can you help me, please? I mean, the guy is screaming, and he couldn't just do it. So that was when I had this idea that something had to be found. And to plan this case, nobody can plan it. But there's a problem anyway, and it can be solved. And that's why I kept going about for 5 years now, evolving and looking for information, how this problem can be gone away, and this is the system. So if you have the idea that there's always a platform, there's a place where all the languages and all interpreters are located, then you don't have to stress about the future or make this timing and everything for everybody. You just, there's a police and there's a crime, or maybe not a crime, maybe misunderstanding. Or you are traveling, you are in another country, and there's an accident and you need to call for help, or somebody's accusing for something you didn't do, you want to explain. So there's only 1 minute. You choose the app, you choose the language. In 30 seconds, somebody will call you and make the problem go away, at least interpret it. I don't know about the problems, but you get it right away, and you will pay only for this 1 or 2 minutes, whatever you use. And I think that's a good thing. This is the part of my slides, but I could get some questions if you have. I feel people are getting bored. So what I'm going to do now is ask for everybody to stand up, please. Stand up, please. I don't like this, that me talking and boring you. I don't want to be a boring person. Take a deep breath. One more. You can hate me after this. Have a seat, please. For now. Now, somebody had a question somewhere. Yes. You're welcome. Right now, we are providing services to Finnish language. So that kind of makes it that it works. Finnish is one language, and they are living in Finland, but all around Finland. And the idea is that we will prove this idea in this country, and soon after that we will take it international, because the market is huge, and I just realized that nobody is doing it properly, and everybody is taking their own cousins or friends, just like me starting my business. People are calling me, come and help me how to start a business. Many times I have seen that people who are needing help, they just call for somebody they know. It might be their son, like I was, or it might be their friend who came like 2 weeks earlier than them to this country, and they expect that they know more. And many of them, they say, yeah, I know, because I came a week before you, so I know more than you do. And they go to these important places and give wrong information. And those information create a lot of problems with those immigrants who are trying to build, or they have right, or they have chances to do something good. So that was the problem, and we are fixing it. My basic idea is that everybody gets the right information. And because we have all this information in this country, and it's for free, the government has paid for entrepreneurship information, let's say, from the beginning to internationalization enterprise levels. And based on whatever you want, you have information, and for free for that. And most of the times you also have money for that. Sometimes free money, sometimes loan, but you have a lot of chances to do whatever you want. And that's why everything is possible in this country, in this culture. You just have to look for it and find it, or have the basic information like normal educated people get it in this country. When they grow up here, they get all the information little by little, that they start to realize that I have a right, or there's a person to do this, can provide me the information. Immigrants don't know that. So my thing is to show it to immigrants that there is people who are there for you, and you don't have to take your cousin or friend or neighbor to go and look for that information, and never give up on what you believe in and you can do. If you believe that you can do something, create something, try it. If it works, we all don't have $1 million ideas, but we process whatever we know. I start to make a good pizza, and now I'm teaching people about entrepreneurship. So I wasn't expecting this, but I evolved to the next level. So anybody can do this. You might not see this, that I will be like I don't know, pilot, but you go to the basics, and you never know that you can make it to the pilot. You had a question too, yes?
Yes, actually I have two questions. The first one considers about your customers. So what kind of customers do you have? And are they from healthcare, social care, hospitals? Because I know that in this sector there's a big need for entrepreneurs in kind of exotic languages. And then the second one is how do you recruit your interpreters, and what qualification he or she needs? Master degree in languages, or student, or what is, how does this go?
Thank you. I'll take the second one first, because I forgot the first one. No, just kidding. We take our interpreters based on their application when they apply, based on their education level. Those who have educated already in some sort of language levels, and they have a paper to show it, we have to believe them that they can speak those languages. but it's not a requirement yet to be an interpreter in this country and do this work as an interpreter, and you don't have to have the paper. I mean, in some cases it is required, like police, for example, police or court, they don't take anybody as an interpreters. It is kind of difficult. There's life-depending things going on there, so you have to have a professional interpreter there. And I am a court interpreter, and I don't have interpreter papers. I never finished any school about it, but I am a quite good interpreter based on my experience. And I have like about 20 years experience in interpretation. And I have a lot of papers from the former entrepreneurs that telling me or telling about me what kind of interpreter I am. So also experience is notified as acceptable paper. How do I take the process is that they send the application, and with the CV we will see what kind of qualification they already have based on the education or their experiences. And experiences is counted to hours. We need some sort of hours as experience worked in interpretation, so you can do this, and you have to be able to show that you know, and confidentiality. There's some risks we are taking all the time, but not anybody just like that cannot come to work for us, but they can evolve, and it always depends with the customers what kind of interpreter they need or they want. As I said, the case with the doctor and accident, the doctor didn't care am I a professional or not professional or whatever. He wanted to go make the problem go away, so he would take pretty much anybody who knows these two languages. We concentrate many times on Finnish language because you have to have a certain level of Finnish language, and this is the 60%, even more, of the interpretation. And when people are from another country, which is their mother language is something else, which is normally what they interpret, if the Finnish is good enough and they are from some other place, we have a reason to believe that they do know their mother language and the other. I cannot, for example, speak China, so I cannot ask the right questions for Chinese interpreters. But if they speak good enough Finnish and they can show me some sort of interpretation paper or experience, I have a reason to believe that they also know how to speak Chinese, right? So basically this is how it goes. About the customers, we have this law in Finland that all immigrants have right to be understood. So everybody has a right for an interpreter when dealing with the government officers. This is healthcare, this is, security, this is court, this is employment offices, education, any steps when there is qualification, not need for some information about you to the government, you have a right for interpreter. And the person who asks for interpreter makes the decision how much is needed and what is the qualification for interpreter. The one who makes the order decides what kind of interpreter he will get. And many times, as I said, court, they only take the professional, police take only the professional, healthcare take, depending on what level, they take the professional or good experienced. We had this new immigration problem, when 35,000 new people came, flee from the war, and they came to this country. Now, to be honest, for Arabic language, for example, they take anybody who can translate to these two languages. almost all Arabic people are hired for translation, and as I said, there's different steps. The new beginners, they go to basic interpretation conversations. Like, what would I say? I have children in what is that? Päivähoito, daycare. So I have children in daycare, and I don't know Finnish. And there's this once a year the meeting with the daycare people. So they call me and they want to tell me how do we do. It's like basic. There's no that big information. It's just that what the kid eats, when go, when come, and and what do they do at home. So we could give the best daycare working with home situation. So they don't require any specialties for that. And they ask us that, can your interpreter handle this for sometimes? Or we already know that what kind of interpreter is available or acceptable for that. Experience is accepted. So yes, we do watch all these things. And our new company, this UPRED, everybody, all the interpreters they have to go through some sort of testing in the beginning until we let them work freely in the system. Because now we make decision what kind of interpreter will be used for which cases, but when it's automated, the system will decide. And before let it happen, we will, everybody has to be accepted. And for that we have a certain hiring system working on. Any other questions?
Let's know about your family. What about your brothers and sisters? Are they still living in Finland today, and have they been as successful as you are?
Thank you for that too. That was, yes, there were 6 of us. As I said, my father was a kind of far-looking person, and he made all of us to go educated because it was for free, and he never got it, so he made sure that we get education. My older brother is, what is that? The person who is responsible for one part of Giganti. Okay, he's working for Giganti electronic shop, and he's also educated, not university type, but enough. One is my sister is sociology, university. I don't even know what she does, but she does something what Finnish do. And she studied like a couple of years ago. She finished, so she's really smart, and she lives in Helsinki, like all the other people, and she's doing something with this Mannerheim lastensuojelu. Yes, child protection. She has highly educated. Let's put it this way. Two of brothers, they are entrepreneurs, and one is becoming a lawyer, and the other one is becoming not the doctor, but the lower nurse. Please forgive me, I haven't been using English for a long time now. Some words are fleet out. But yes, we are all educated, and we are all happily in Finland, and we also have almost all of us got married. 4 of us got married, and we have kids. I got 4, my brother got 2 kids, and my sister got 1 kid. And yes, we all are still in Finland, and we are thankful. Why I use this thankful word sometimes is that because we had these friends who came the same place, from the same place, had the same sort of life that we did. Like their father didn't know much about Finland. They start making pizza, and they start to get along in some way, and they went earlier to Helsinki. I consider myself or ourselves lucky because we had the chance to see all different kind of Finnish people, and we had the chance to even fight with them and show them ourselves and respect ourselves too. Many of my friends didn't, and they had these difficulties, and they are not at the positive side on the society. They are not thankful because their father had to work all the time and no intention or maybe whatever the kid needs, the care, the love, they couldn't get it because they had to work. And those kids kind of grew up without the same love I got. And it copies itself. And in the future, they are kind of the same persons what their father taught them: negativity, hard work, and being hated. And when the kid grow up with that way, they start hating also pretty much everybody. And that is something bad thing with this society, that you know, if I didn't come out myself, nobody would even see me. Loneliness is one bad thing in this culture. But I consider myself lucky because my father kind of, he kicked my ass to go to school. And he made me to learn pizza, but he played me. He didn't tell me that he wants me to learn. He just said that, I don't know, what would you do? I mean, okay, I will make a pizza I don't want you to make. Go away. This is my pizza, my place. And then I look at him, and he makes the worst pizza in the world. And I was afraid that we will lose all the customers and we'll go down, and then the bad time starts. So I said, okay, you don't want me, I will make the pizza anyway. And I made, and I made, and I made, and I became professional, and he was like, okay, you can do if you want, but I don't ask. And that was kind of, now that I think, he was really smart. He never asked, but he made me to do everything he wanted me to do. And I'm thankful for that. He made me an entrepreneur. He gave me, what is that? Vastuu. Responsibility, yeah. He just gave me a restaurant, and he said that you can destroy it if you want. I don't care. It's mine, it's yours. But it's not yours because it's mine. But you get to do whatever you want. So you kill the customers, go ahead and kill them. That was kind of person, and he never went to any education, got any education. Now I consider myself as a good entrepreneur. And all my brothers and sisters, we are thankful to be in this system, to be in this country, and to see the chances this provides. And all you guys needs too is just to be able to look for this right information and concentrate on doing whatever you want to do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you don't have to give up on it. And when it doesn't work, you can say that I tried my best, it didn't work, so you don't have to look back. You can keep walking straight ahead. When you have to walk always back, that should I have done this way or that way, you will never get far enough in the future. You cannot get to the point where you want to be. And that's I can call this as a motto for myself. I have always tried all these things in my mind that I should do this, and 90% it doesn't work, and I kind of take a couple of steps back, and I start from the beginning again. But with this new experience, I'm not going to the same struggling again, and that's why I achieved in my pizzeria, when I started totally myself, in 6 months I achieved 2 years goal. And just to tell you, I had to live 2 months in my car in Joensuu. That's crazy, right? In the car. I had 6 people working for me, and I couldn't find a house. And I went to Joensuu. I had a beautiful running company. Actually, my pizzeria was located in a place that the biggest Finnish pizzeria, Kotipizza, was failed. So when I said that I will start a pizzeria where the biggest pizza chain has failed, people start to laugh at me. But I made in 6 months 2 years goal, and I hired 6 people, and I was still in the car. And okay, of course, I applied for the house because of my name. Ali Giray here, please, can I get your house? They said, yeah, it's taken. And next day, the same house is again on the paper. I called for the government house providing, what is that, Johansson Kodit thing. They say we don't have any available houses, homes. And the next day I see on the paper, they have this thing saying that we are looking for, there's a house looking for people who wants to rent it, for rent. And when I called them that I've been, in the car, can I get this house? It was new and there was sauna. And they say, no, it's for students. I was like, what the? Students? I hired 6 students, but those are the problems. It turned out to be good, all these problems, because I had to buy myself a house. I never got a house. Okay, I called my father, please. And he backed me up and I bought my first house. I never went back to renting a house again. So something good came out from the something quite bad, and we had a big fight with these people who didn't provide me that house. But as I said, when you don't stress about what's going to happen, just do whatever you do, the rest will come. You had a question.
You already gave many good tips, but what would you say to those people who quite recently come to the country and maybe are concerned that will they ever get a job? Will they have a job?
Yes, that's a good question. I have actually quite many, I call them customers even though they don't pay me, but they are customers who I provide help. We have these difficulties in this country, some, if I'm being honest, stupid laws that just make walls on our way. I want to give something, I want to build something, but there's a wall that says that no, you are not. And I said, but I have the answer, and they says no, because you don't have our passport in a way. It's kind of frustrating, but difficulties there are and there will be, but they are all the goals are achievable, and that's the good thing in this country. The difficulties will teach you to be stronger, and when you find the right person maybe, or the right, there is somebody to help you all around. It doesn't matter wherever you are, there's somebody to help you, to provide information, and mostly it's for free. So the newcomers, what I would say that just try to get as much information as possible from this society, how it works, how is the business wide. I mean, you cannot get all the written information, but just understanding it will help you a lot. And then you will know how to find the person who can help you through the problem. And that's what I believe in. I've been told many times that I'm not acceptable because I look like this or because I used to have black hair. But now I believe that it doesn't matter. I have to teach them that this society is also for me too. And the change has started. Now I look here and I see more black hairs than yellows. And when I came, I was the only black dot in the whole school. So the change has started. And you won't have the same difficulties as I did. And the information about different cultures and different way of business making and living, it's always getting in the system. So it will be much easier for you. All you have to do is just find the path and the person who can help you to go through that. And I'm one path for many people. I have helped the immigrants how to start a business, how to get the right licenses, everything. Just the information. And we have a lot of it in this country.
You are going somewhere on 6th of December.
Yes.
Tell us where and why will you be wearing the
Tuxedo? Okay, I have to tell. As I said, I was chosen to be a refugee of the year. I never considered myself as a refugee because it was my father, not me. But they called me a refugee of the year, and now I got the invitation from the president to go to your castle. So for those who doesn't know, every year the president calls for important people, and gives them free drinks and food and dancing. Okay, so I get to handshake with the president this year, be on TV. Actually, that's like my 4th time, but doesn't matter. With the president, it's the 1st time, and I get to dance and get to the place where only the important people goes. And okay, I go as a refugee. Who cares? I go there. I know I've been kind of boring, but anybody has any questions? This school made me not the entrepreneur, but self-confident person about entrepreneurship. I got the basic information. I never. Ulla is not here, right? Okay. International business. That was like a Bible, the book, and it was so. I never got through that test, and I can honestly say that maybe my daughter, who was born like the last year when I had to be kicked out of the school, and there was only this one course, international business, that I tried 6 years, twice a year, and took the 3 times the same class, and every year there's only exams. Like maybe 20 times I tried and I couldn't pass it. It was so boring. I was falling. There was like some sort of English that I couldn't understand, and I was like, so, and 6 years was going away. So I took my kid. She was just born, and she was so cute, and she was loving everybody at that moment. So I just went to Ulla, and I gave it to Ulla and said, "You take it, because she's the reason I cannot finish your course." And she was about to give me a credit, and I believe that I was maybe not passing. I had this feeling because I had done it like 10 times before. So I gave it to her and said, "You want to kill this baby? Go ahead. But I'm going." Well, I got 1. I don't know, this last point, did it come from the baby or no, but I got 1, and I got passed, and I finished the school. And confident is that being able to achieve. I needed to achieve this, finish this, get this piece of paper in order to make a pizza. But it helped me. And now I'm a vice president of entrepreneurs. I have created a new way of, every year in all around Finland, they give, what is that? Palkinto. Prizes for the entrepreneur of the year and the young entrepreneur of the year, and I have no chance to get that, level, because you need $1 million idea for it, and I never have even a good idea. I just have an idea and I make money out of it to get along, not money, just to get my income. So I made them to give the first prize for immigrant entrepreneurs in Joensuu. Because I'm the vice president, I kept this going, and we are doing this, and hopefully they will copy it to other cities too. And from now on, any one of you might get this, the immigrant entrepreneur of the year. It doesn't matter where you live. Just have to do whatever you do and go through this, get over the difficulties. You don't have to have $1 million idea. This year, the one who's getting it is a restaurant. The guy who started the restaurant is getting the prize. So it is possible. And because I was able to make this change, I believe that this will only continue. And people with teaching also Finns about this new society that we have, and immigrants about the new society that we have. This is no longer a Finnish society, but it's not a Turkish society too. It's the new society, and we have to adapt to this new society. Everybody has a chance to do whatever they need to or want to do. And everybody has rights. Thank you. I believe there is no questions. Yes?
You talked a lot about your father's contribution to the immigration agreement, but you said nothing about your mother.
I cannot, yes. Well, okay, of course, my mother, she was, there is this saying that every strong man has a strong woman behind him, right? So that's kind of the way that I never thought about, and this means that he had this strong lady taking care of the kids at home. She made us to only concentrate on evolving. So yeah, that was my mistake. I'm sorry. My mother is as important in my life, of course, and she's alive as my father. But my father is the one who made me a businessman. I mean, when I think about entrepreneurship and all the things like that, my father is the one who kind of jumped into a darkness and threw me in it too. My mother, she just gave us love, and that was enough. Thank you for reminding that. I have to figure something out now for my mother. Anything else? Come on, I wasn't that boring, and I didn't give that much information, so you get all the answers. Anybody who's planning to start a business? Woohoo! I got 2, 3. Okay, thank you.